All right, this is like my third attempt recording this because I just got a new mic and I'm still working out the kinks. But yeah, yeah, I saw those boys. I saw the TV show, The Boys. It was very good. I don't have a whole lot of complaints about it. I don't want to spoil a lot of it, but I will say that this is everything the Watchmen TV series should be. This show, The Boys, gets so many things right, and it's everything I'm looking for when I'm watching a superhero show or movie. This is my version of a fun superhero thing, you know? And it has, a layer of seriousness to it that I also appreciate. It really feels like it's in our world, the real world, you know? You got a Harvey Weinstein moment with the Aquaman dude in the first episode. So the show really acts as a commentary on pop culture and like celebrities and shit like that. And, how we, treat celebrities like gods, like how these superheroes are treated in the show. And I just really like how the show is structured. I like the setup. I like the characters. I like this idea that the corporation is selling superheroes like movie studios sell comic book movies. It's like identical in that way. And a lot of people say the superhero team in this show is based off the Justice League. And yes, visually, they look like the Justice League. You got your Wonder Woman character, you got your Superman character, you got your Aquaman character. No Green Lantern. I don't know why they, didn't think he was important enough. But besides that, you got 7 main superheroes, and they're known as the 7. And of course, Justice League has 7 members and stuff. But they look like the Justice League, but they act like the Avengers. And they have their own tower in New York City, just like the Avengers, and just like the MCU. They value their superheroes based off like how much money they've made in the last year or something like that. And it really feels like this corporation's like the MCU or Disney, and it's just a giant corporation that's about to become a monopoly. It wants to, be in the military too and use the superheroes as weapons and stuff like that. So a cool little like villain subplot going on. And the villain in this show is really Homelander, and he is like one of the best villains I've seen on screen in quite a long time. Very well realized, this character is. He's Captain America and Superman smashed together, only they're evil. He's the Bizarro version of those characters. Or the Uber Superman or Uberman from the other Earth in Crisis on Infinite Earths. But I fucking love his character. I mean, he's real villainous. He's actually kind of funny. And he's like a little scary when he needs to be, because he's like this ultimate superpowered being, and he has no weaknesses. They don't know how to kill Homelander. But as you learn in the show, it turns out like his past might be his weakness, and probably that will be expanded on in like season 2, because season 2 they're filming right now, so I can't wait for that. And I saw during the panel that Seth Rogen is one of the showrunners for this show, and that surprised me. I thought he was busy on Preacher, but yeah, he's one of the people making the Boys show, so good on him. He's doing a lot of great television lately. But one of the hosts of that panel said something that bothered me. She said something like, "We've never seen this version of superheroes before. Like what happens when the top half of a skyscraper topples down? Nobody cares about the people up there." And all I was thinking is like, did you watch Batman versus Superman? That's what the entire fucking movie's about. And, maybe that's the good thing about this Boys show, is that people are going to go back to movies like Batman versus Superman and have a huge appreciation for it if they love this show, right? Because it's really shot in that same style, that same realism Snyder brought to, the DC universe, they do on this show. I mean, it feels very Snyder-esque, I guess you could say, with the color palette they use and stuff. And by the way, this show looks great. It looks great. I didn't believe it was an Amazon show. It looked really good. Far better than any CW show, And maybe on the same level as like the DC streaming service, because some of those shows look fantastic, but maybe a little bit better than those. But anyway, beside the point, it's a good looking show. I like the visual style. I like the realism they use. The villain is great. And the heroes, you got Billy Butcher, played by Carl Urban, man. And dude, he fucking is the most badass character of the show. He's the one you get behind the most because of how badass he is. Carl Urban has, found the role of a lifetime right now, because he is perfect for it. He's gets every little smirk and fucking glance. Every facial movement is fucking brilliant. He did such a great job with this role. And the show ends on a cliffhanger with his character. So, yeah, I'm definitely invested for that second season. I want to see what happens with his character. But his tale is more of a vengeance type of tale. And this show does something pretty interesting where that's not the only thing going on. You know, the main cast is like a cast of like 4 different people, but really the main ones are Billy Butcher and Huey. I think his name is. I think it's Huey, but he's the other main character. And his girlfriend got exploded by A-Train. He's the speedster character in this TV show. And in the first episode, he runs right through Huey's girlfriend. She fucking blows up right in front of him. Kind of funny, kind of dark. And maybe that describes the humor in this show. It's a very dark comedy show, which I like a lot. But Huey is really a character that's like a gigantic wimp. You know, he can't do anything. He can't stand up for himself at all. And that's kind of his arc in the show. He learns to stand up for himself. And he wants to get even. He doesn't want to like kill the heroes. He just wants to make them be more humble and actually care about people. That's what he's really concerned about. So him and Carl Urban's character, they really clash a lot in the show. And I think it makes for a good dynamic. It makes it interesting to watch. Because if it was just a straight up like revenge tale, I don't think it would be, that interesting because we've seen enough of that. But this show does enough unique things that it keeps you engaged throughout it. Like, I didn't want to stop watching it. I just watched every episode back to back. I just didn't want to stop. I lost some sleep over it. And you also have another main character. I think her name is Starlight, if I'm not mistaken. And she's the newest hero to the 7. And she's naive and she thinks all superheroes are good. And they're only going to do good things. And then she realizes that, this corporation sets up the crimes for them. And they always have cameras at the crime scenes to interview the heroes right after they make a bust or something like that. And it's all artificial. That's great. And her character is the one that actually runs into that Harvey Weinstein situation in episode 1 with Aquaman. And, I really liked her character by the end. And she's like uber powerful too. So I'm thinking she's probably going to be the one to go up against Homelander by the time this whole show ends and stuff. And she is like identical to like Captain Marvel and Miss Marvel, that type of character, as far as powers go. She doesn't act like that ridiculous. Starlight is actually a pretty likable character. You can get behind her. She's very like girl next door. And I really hope nothing bad happens to this character. I mean, she seems really, strong and powerful. And I just hope like they don't kill her. Like that would be something that would really like throw me through a loop. Like that would be some crazy shit if her character just dies in the next season, because she really seems like she's going to be the main hero that fights against the other heroes at some point, and she's probably going to join up with the boys or something. I can imagine that happening, even though that's probably not going to happen, but I can imagine it happening. But I don't really want to spoil too much. You'll see when you watch the show. It's only 8 episodes, pretty easy to get through. It's a fun watch, and it's done in like the same vein as like a Watchmen or BVS, where you're questioning the morality of these superheroes more than just like accepting it as fact that the superheroes will always do something good, which is always the most annoying part of comic books in general and comic book movies. It's just like, yep, they saved the day. That's how the movie ends. That's how every fucking superhero movie ends. It's real boring. And what makes superheroes more interesting is their character flaws. Everyone likes to say that DC characters are like gods, but they really do have a major character flaws. Like Wonder Woman is, way too quick to violence, you know what I'm saying? She's all about love and stuff, but she'll cut your head off if she doesn't like you, So, major character flaw there. Superman, I think his major character flaw is that he doesn't even know who the fuck he is. He can't decide between his identities as Clark Kent or Kal-El. He's always torn between those two worlds, and it makes him feel like he doesn't fit in anywhere. And Batman's main character flaw is that he won't kill Joker. I think that's his major one. He won't go past his own ego to save thousands of people. I guess you could say Batman has too much pride. And that's what this show, The Boys, that's what it does great. It shows all these character flaws in these superheroes. Like, I was hating the Aquaman dude in this show at the first episode, right? For what he did. But by the end of the season, I feel bad for him, and you have to watch the show to understand what I'm saying. But I felt real bad for him by the end. And I hope he gets some kind of redemption arc in the second season, because he's starting to feel like Reek with how much this character is like tortured and stuff. And A-Train, I really hated him the first episode for what he did to Huey's girlfriend. And, he does some other fucked up shit later in the show. But, it turns out he's just a fucking junkie, really. I mean, minor spoilers, but A-Train, he's just a fucking junkie. He has no control over his life. Is he really a bad person? And I think that's like a really great thing about this show. nobody's truly evil in the show, except for maybe Homelander. He's the one that seems like he's just pure evil because you'll see with his past and stuff, why he is the way he is by the time you get to the other season. But he genuinely feels like the one that's like evil to the core, that's gonna like take over the whole planet. But everybody else seem like people have made mistakes. It doesn't seem like they're irredeemable. It seems like they could be redeemed and stuff like that. I mean, I really like that aspect of the show. And the show really is all about egos. I mean, that's why I made that music video with that song, Hang On To Your Ego, which used to be a Beach Boys song and covered by Frank Black. But anyway, that's what this show really is about. It's about egos, and are you going to let your ego control you type thing like the superheroes do? Because there's such a celebrity status, they have huge egos. And it's like no one can even touch them. Like they're floating above the humans all the time, And the same thing kind of applies with the good characters, I guess you could say, that you follow, the main guys that are going after the superheroes. You could say that, Billy Butcher, his ego is so set that he can't accept that maybe the superheroes are just like them. He doesn't want to consider the superheroes are like him in any way. And he thinks every superhero is bad. And that's like, a major like ego thing. And you see, Huey's character, he gives into, his, deep dark desires, and he lets his ego win, right? In the moment where he kills the translucent man in the second episode, I think. So, minor spoilers, but, you'll see it in that music video I posted anyway. But so, Huey allows himself to kill that character instead of doing the right thing, which would be to let that guy go, because, technically, the character Huey kills didn't do anything to Huey. Huey's just doing it out of his own ego, his own self-gratification, to show that he is just as important as all the superheroes because he's able to kill one. It's cool subtext like that is why I like the show. And it's one of the better shows on TV because of that. It's definitely one of my favorite shows of the year so far. Last year, I think it was The Terror. I think that came out last year. That's definitely my favorite show last year. But this show is definitely very good. And I can't wait for the second season. It's definitely coming out probably next year. And that's it for now. Comment below. Let me know what you thought of The Boys. Did you like it? Did you hate it? If you like the way BVS was, I don't know how you could hate The Boys. I don't know how you could hate this style of superheroes because this is very grounded, very real. But yeah. If I was to give it a rating, it'd probably be like a 9 out of 10, something like that. Really high. I like it a lot. But yeah, that's it for now. Comment below, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Yeah.
Don't you ever besmirch Billy.
can